What's up, everyone? Welcome to Advancement Spotlights, the show that features advancement experts who share the most actionable and insightful tips on all things engagement and fundraising. Thank you for tuning into our episode today. My name is Manshi, and I'm the all things marketing person at Alma Base. Over the last 3 years, I've spent most of my time interacting with advancement shops, big and small, in the US, and have been deeply invested in understanding the challenges faced by industry professionals just like you. Today, I'm joined by my fellow co-host and alumni success specialist, Sushmita.
Hey, thanks, Manshi. Hi, everyone. I'm Sushmita, the Alumni Success Specialist at Alma Base. So my job is to talk to people, but if I have to explain it further, I talk to advancement professionals, understand how they've been engaging their alumni in the post-pandemic world, if I may call it, and learn what worked for them, what didn't, and think of solutions to their challenges. So yeah, that's about me.
Thanks, Sushmita. I'm also super excited to introduce our guest of honor today, the brilliant Adam Dunigan, Senior Director, Advancement Services and Analytics Division of Institutional Advancement at Franklin College. Adam, welcome to Advancement Spotlight. We're honored to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks so much. So, Adam, tell me a little bit about your journey at Franklin College and also the roles that you've played here. You graduated from Franklin College and also started your career there more than 12 years ago. It's absolutely thrilling to see that you've come such a long way in your association with your alma mater.
Yes. So I started working at Franklin in 2009. Shortly after I graduated, I began working on the IT team, and I had a number of roles on that team over about 9 years I was there. So I was in student and event support, faculty and staff support, data systems administration, pivoted over to programming and business analyst work. And then my last role there was to be, I was a senior systems analyst. So I did a lot of database design and reporting analytics. So in my current role in the institutional advancement team, I am responsible for data management, reporting, process design and implementation. And then, of course, I oversee all aspects of the traditional advancement services area, which would include gift processing, prospect research, and prospect management.
Wow, all of that sounds truly inspiring, Adam. And I'm so glad to be talking about what's on our agenda today with an expert like you. Today, we're discussing a much awaited topic: how can you use engagement metrics to drive alumni engagement in 2022? And now let my co-host Sushmita jump in here.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Manshi. So, as people who spend 8 days a week talking with advancement professionals, we often hear words like data, measurement, metrics, analyzing, reporting, being tossed around quite a lot. But what is it really? What does it mean to measure alumni engagement, and how can we leverage these metrics to drive higher participation? So our search for these answers led us to Adam, who's done a terrific job at setting up an alumni engagement measurement framework at Franklin College. So I'll start with this, Adam. Could you tell us a little bit about how you've set up the alumni engagement, framework according to the CASE framework at Franklin College?
Yes. So when I joined the advancement team in 2019, one of the first meetings that I had was with our alumni engagement team to talk about a new project that CASE had created about tracking and reporting alumni engagement metrics. So the alumni participation rate has historically been the primary metric reported by U.S. News and World Report as a measure of an institution's ability to engage with their alumni. And CASE recognized that this metric was not really telling the full story, and we agreed with that. So we began to work out a plan to track these new metrics at Franklin College. So as a team, we went through the entire CASE guidance document and determine which metrics were activities that were already occurring at Franklin College and activities that we were feasibly able to track given the small size of our team. As I said earlier, before joining the advancement team, I was a senior analyst for the college, so I worked in the data reporting and analytics space at the institutional level. So a project like this was in my wheelhouse, and I was comfortable taking it on. We are a Blackbaud Razor's Edge client. We converted in early 2019 to Blackbaud. So as we were kind of getting used to that system, we had to make sure that the data that we were going to track was able to be stored in that system in such a way that we could report it out easily. So we used a combination of native and custom data to accomplish that. And so when I say native, I kind of mean data that's built in or part of a built-in portion of the system. So things like GIFs, events, and event attendance. Custom data would be things that they don't fit in any predefined space. So those could be things like social media or email click metrics or specific volunteer activities. So after we scoped out those metrics, according to the document, we started off by using an Excel spreadsheet to report these metrics by mode, by month, so that we could compare our progress year over year. So the process, though, to gather and input those metrics into the spreadsheet was both time-consuming and manual. So recognizing that, we spent more time looking for solutions to that problem. And one came to me in the form of Power BI, which is a Microsoft product. In early 2020, I started working with a beta version of Blackbaud's Sky API connector that interfaces with Power BI. And it, just basically starting to just see what can I get a hold of from a data perspective? What information can I access? So fortunately, almost all of the data that I needed for this project was already available in the connector. I did have to build a few add-ons in the form of Power Automate flows that would supplement certain data sets for things that I could not get to in the API. But after all of that was settled, I created a data model. I verified the data model was correct and accurate, and then I began to lay out the information on the dashboard in a format that my team would be able to use. So at the end, we published the dash, and it's 100% automated from now on, providing updates to our team on a daily basis. And it looks there in the slide, that's a screenshot of the dashboard, the summary page. So you can see the 4 modes plus the 5th total unique mode there, which is any alum that engaged in any of the other 4 modes. And you can see the colors there indicate whether we have met or not yet met the goal for each of those modes. The charts to the right indicate the engagements over time from our fiscal calendar. The dark blue, of course, is this year. The gold is last year, so we can see trends over time compared to the same time last year. And something you don't get to see in a screenshot is that these dashboards are also interactive. So if you were to hover over any of those lines at a specific point in time, it will tell you what date that is, what the engagements are on that date, and what they were that date last year. And then like a percentage calculation if we're up 10% or down 5%, things like that.
Right. Yeah, got it. And I think you made it sound really easy, but I'm sure it's not. And I really like how your entire team is working towards it. And you started small with just spreadsheets, and now we've automated completely and moved to really, visually appealing dashboards. And I also like how you've been capturing not just the native touch points, but also the custom touch points such as social media engagement or email opens and things like that. So yeah, kudos to you and the team.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say what an impressive dashboard with all of the historical data there in place, everything automated. It's just absolutely impressive that you can hover over it and you'll get all of the data. I know that a lot is not being captured in the screenshot, but it's absolutely impressive how, Adam, you've set it up. I'm sure our listeners, our viewers would greatly benefit from hearing more about this from you in detail. Maybe they can reach out to you on LinkedIn, on email, on your email that we'll leave in the description box below after the webinar, of course. And I'm sure they'll take away great insights from you, Adam.
Yeah, happy to connect.
Awesome. So Adam, I wanted to ask you this, right? While you spoke about measuring alumni engagement in terms of events, giving, social media, a couple of more quantifiable metrics, how does Franklin College approach measuring alumni engagement qualitatively?
Well, that's a great question. Qualitative metrics can be challenging due to their subjective nature. However, we regularly conduct surveys after events to find out what our alumni enjoyed and perhaps maybe what we could do better next time. We also conduct a larger scale alumni survey every couple of years that we send out to everyone that we're able to contact. And these surveys give us great insights into how our alumni think and feel about Franklin College. And it helps us and inform us on strategic plans and planning for the future. We also use the annual CASE AEM survey and those results to identify other peer and aspirant schools who are excelling in certain modes, perhaps compared to us. We'll reach out to those schools. We'll try and learn from their successes and share ideas with one another. So, something we rather recently realized is after 2 years of gathering and reporting this data, we came to the realization that alumni who volunteer with us are much more likely to give. Like, I remember one year it was like 73% of alumni that volunteered also gave. So having that realization, that led us to pursue an alumni engagement platform so that we could create kind of a one-stop shop for alumni to connect with each other and with Franklin College and do things like raise their hand to volunteer for specific activities that interest them. And so that's what led us ultimately to choosing Almabase as a partner for this project.
Wow, that's a really incredible metric that you threw in there. I wasn't expecting that. 73% is absolutely huge, Adam. It's great that you've set up this in such an amazing way. And I also really liked how you were able to connect the dots with what you love doing. Clearly, this is your passion project. Absolutely love how you've set this up so well.
And, before we wrapped up, I just wanted to ask you one quick question. So if you were to give a quick advice to someone who is just getting started with measuring engagement, what would it be? Or what are some of the, resources that they can refer to or learn from?
Well, my advice would be to just get started, right? Don't wait. Don't worry about whether your report will be pretty or perfect. It's a messy process, so embrace the mess, right? I never imagined creating a dashboard like we have now when we first started. We started the project with the goal of participating in the annual case survey. And then from there, we started to ask ourselves, well, why can't we look at this data more often than just once a year? And so that was what led us to the Excel report, which then led us to the Power BI dash that you've seen today. So, in terms of resources, like I said, we are a Blackbaud Razor's Edge school, but I don't believe what I have done is unique to that. I think if you have a different CRM, and perhaps if maybe you don't have Power BI, maybe you prefer Tableau. I think all of these things can be accomplished with whatever tool set you're most comfortable with. For me personally, the Power BI was the supported connector with Blackbaud, so that's why I chose it. And Microsoft has a lot of great resources online, for free that you can go on to get trained, and so I was essentially self-taught on how to build these dashboards. So I would encourage others that are interested to start there to get kind of a baseline understanding of the tools. And then, of course, like I said earlier, I'm always happy to connect with other schools and talk in detail about what we're doing and how we did it. We love to share ideas with others. And of course, we love to have ideas shared with us.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks so much, Adam. Before we actually drop off, I'd like to ask just a quick question. You make it sound like a breeze, all of it, right? But how much time do you usually set aside to maintain this framework that you've set up so beautifully? Is there a weekly cadence or a monthly or a quarterly cadence that you have in place to stay on top of your engagement metrics?
Yeah, so because it's automated, unless something breaks, which is usually because I changed something on the back end and made a mistake, and then all of a sudden an insight goes away. Unless that happens, everything happens on its own now. So everybody on the team, they have their regular roles and they're doing the various types of data entry that correspond to their jobs. And this dashboard is designed to look at those places in the database and pull those touch points and data points out and organize them in this dash. So in terms of maintenance on the framework, CASE will occasionally release new guidance documentation. Like last year, they added a few new metrics that were new for 2021. And so we will, periodically review those, determine whether those are metrics that are occurring here or should be, and whether we can track them. And then we will add them to the system, we'll create new custom codes and begin to track that data as well.
Wow, you made it sound like a breeze all over again. But I guess that's how you set it up.
Yeah, it was a lot of work at the beginning, right? To visualize and map out what we were going to do and to create the data model. To be honest, that was the hardest part, was creating the data model, because I was basically recreating the Blackbaud data environment in my own Power BI system, right? And only what I needed, but I had to determine which fields were the right fields to join things on and definitely test everything out to make sure when I got an answer from the dash, I was able to go get the same answer directly from the database. As that was the single source of truth, I knew that was, if I got the same numbers, right, I knew that, okay, I'm onto something, I'm accurate. So that did take, I mean, months and months to build. But once that was done, you know, it's simply a matter of adding new custom fields into your database. The dash is already looking there, so then they just start to appear. So it sounds easy, but it was some work.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's absolutely great how everything is so automated today and your team is gaining or reaping all the benefits out of it. That's super. Yeah. It's truly impressive to see how Franklin College has set this framework in place. It's truly impressive to see how Adam has come such a long way in his association with his alma mater, Franklin College. Well, thanks so much for sharing all of that crazy good information with us and our community here, Adam. And that's a wrap. We appreciate our viewers signing in and hope that you're taking away actionable insights to implement at your own institution. If you'd like to get in touch with us about any questions that you need us to answer, please drop an email at marketing@almways.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. If you'd like to connect with our wonderful guest, Adam Dunigan, or any of the hosts for today's webinar, watch out for our email IDs and LinkedIn profile links in the description box below. Thanks again for tuning into Advancement Spotlights. We're always having conversations with the best advancement professionals and giving away insights that are easy to just plug and play.